is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Mid-Level Media channel. This is your hub for everything physical media and entertainment, and I am here to do a 10 must-own Blu-ray and 4K titles video, and today we're going to be covering Synapse Films. I hope I said that correctly. Synapse Films, okay? Because Synapse, look, I didn't think I would have enough to do an entire video for this, but then I started to look at my collection. I'm like, first off, I've seen a lot of these, and second, there's a lot of great releases that Synapse Films has done. So I'm like, let's do a 10 best, and I can maybe do another 10 best, a part two at some point. Now, Synapse doesn't put out a lot of titles. Like usually I think in a year, Synapse might do like 5 or 6 titles, maybe a little bit more than that, or a little bit less than that. So they're not like super into the quantity of it. They're not doing monthly announcements like Scream Factory or Criterion or Arrow Video. They really just quietly put stuff out there. But when it's a big one, you definitely know about it, and they've definitely done big ones in the past, but they've really got an excellent catalog that focuses primarily on horror and genre stuff, but they've done a few other movies, some action films and exploitation films, some softcore porn. I'm looking at you, Sorceress, which will not be on my list. They do that as well. So yeah, we're going to be covering 10 of what I would consider to be the best of the best when it comes to Synapse Films, and I will be linking these down below as well, Amazon links. A good portion of Synapse titles are currently on sale right now. There's actually some really good deals on titles like Popcorn and also a Street Trash, which are not in my recommendations because I have not watched those two films yet, but there's actually some really good deals going right now. Maybe I'll link those down below as well, but I'll have all the links for the titles that I talk about down below in the description. If you're interested in any of these titles, use those links. They're Amazon affiliate links, and they do help support the channel. So, all right, guys, first let like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and let's go ahead and get into it. Let's go ahead and just rip the band-aid off with this and start with the best of the best. I think this may be the best 4K ever, like of all time. It's a Dario Argento movie, and that is Sesperia. Right here, again, directed by Dario Argento. So this film came out in 1977. It is an extremely vibrant, colorful film. Like if you've seen Sesperia, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just gorgeous colors and vibrancy, like all throughout this movie. It's an extremely like eerie experience as well, just as an actual film. Suspiria is freaking awesome. First off, I love this movie. I didn't love it the first time I watched it. I had to acquire more of a taste for the Italian genre, I feel like, to really get into this and appreciate it. My love for Italian films came a little bit later with Tenmbre. Like, I really love Tenmbre pretty much from the first moment that I saw it, which we may talk about a little bit later here. But Suspiria was one that I had to get into. But I've seen this movie probably about 5 or 6 times now, and I just really love it. The score by Goblin is freaking fantastic, but you have got to get this 4K. This 4K is going for $35.87. Little bit on the pricier side, but there's some great features here. There is a making of documentary on this as well. So there's fantastic features. And I think that most of those features are from the Blu-ray release, so I don't think they added anything new for the 4K, except for the stunning restoration and picture quality, because again, this might be the best 4K that I've ever seen. Like, this movie was made for 4K. Again, it's a 70s film, 1977. There's just a certain way that 70s movies look in 4K that just sometimes when they do it just right, just lends itself to maybe the best 4K that you will ever see. There's several examples of that, and Suspiria is definitely one of them. Apocalypse Now, The Godfather is definitely like 2 other ones as well, but Suspiria, again, shot on film. I believe they utilized Technicolor as well. It just looks so incredible, guys, in 4K, like the blood and all that stuff. If you've seen Italian, horror movies, you know that Italian gore and blood is just like some of the most over the top, stuff you'll ever see in film. And it looks so good in 4K. Like that opening sequence where the girl gets hanged and just the colors in the background and just how she looks up close. It's so incredible. There's so much detail in this as well. And like I said, this might be the best 4K that I've ever seen, just straight up. Like, Synapse is kind of known for the quality, so we'll be talking about like great 4Ks and Blu-rays like as we go through this. But damn, is this not maybe the best? right here. But you have the original poster on the inside. Just look at that image right there, guys. Just look at that. Like, that stuff is all throughout this movie, all throughout this film. But you got the synopsis, all the special features, the casting list. You got a nice little booklet on the inside. You got some disc arts. And yeah, this is reversible as well because you flip it and you have the Synapse artwork on the inside, which is incredible as well. That's the girl that's hanging right there, which is also incredible. This movie is just, it's a classic. Like, at this point, it is a horror classic. It needed this treatment. It deserved this treatment. It got this treatment. And I don't think that anybody could ever do any better with Sesperia. Now, part of me wants Synapse to go back and do it again and give it that box set treatment like they've done with some of their other Argento films. But I know that would cost a lot, and I don't know if I'd be willing to get another copy of Sesperia for 60 to 70 bucks. So I'll just keep my nice 4K with the slip cover right here. Now we're talking about 10, but really we're talking about 11 because I'm going to include these together because they got released in a double pack, but then they got released individually. I got the individual ones. I'm talking about Demons and Demons 2. Like, these movies, first off, like, I really enjoyed both of them. I got a controversial opinion though. I like Demons, but I like Demons 2 a little bit better. I don't know. I just like the apartment setting. I just thought it was a little cooler. Not that the theater setting isn't great, but I will say this: the theater setting really lent itself to a better 4K, in my opinion. I do think the effects work is a little bit better in the first one. So the 4K for the first one looks a little bit better than the second one, but I enjoyed the second one as far as a movie just a little bit better. I like how they changed things up and did things a little bit differently. But both of these look incredible, absolutely incredible in 4K. And there's some great special features on here as well. There's tons of great interviews. I believe there's some new documentaries. There's audio commentaries. There's just tons of fantastic stuff in both of these releases. Like I said, they both got released together in a double pack. I'll also link that down below because I think it might still be available. It has a Blu-ray and it also has a 4K version. I think it might be available. But if not, these versions are available. And Demons is going for $25.99 and Demons 2 is going for $25.91. So they're not too expensive as far as like 4Ks. Again, both of these are just chock full of incredible special features and commentaries, and the picture quality is excellent. And these are two really good, solid Italian horror films. I got a review for both of these on the channel, individual reviews of both of these on the channel that I think I did last August. So definitely go check that out. Next up, guys, is a recent release, but I thought, we should still talk about it. And it's technically not like a Synapse release proper. It's a part of Red Shirt Pictures. But I'm going to bring it up anyway because Synapse is associated with it. But Trickor Treat, which got a really nice box set release last year that was going for $66.66. That sold out. They reprinted it in the form of this standard 4K. There's also a standard Blu-ray edition as well. But I do have the repressed 4K edition right here with some great artwork. Look at this, guys. Fantastic artwork on this. I've got the big box set. I think the artwork on this is better. I really do. I think this is better on this release. But this is a really fun movie. It was my first time watching it. I didn't love it, but I did think it was a very fun movie, an enjoyable movie. And the soundtrack by Fastway is freaking incredible. The music in this movie is really awesome. Just a really stylish 80s horror film that's just oozing 80s vibes and goodness like all throughout it. But it looked great on 4K, looked absolutely stunning. The big selling point for this one is the new documentary because this was a long-awaited title. It got a DVD release like back in the early 2000s, and by all accounts, it was a very crummy release. It really didn't have any extras or anything on it at all. So it really like had its run on VHS back in the day, but then even that went out of print very quickly. So this is a title that demanded a better home video edition, and it finally got it in the form of that Blu-ray and this 4K release. And they did a documentary on that. It's about an hour and a half long, just talking about the making of this movie and how it came out and how it was received and its struggles on home video and the struggles to bring this to home video again and give it a proper release and proper treatment. And it's a fantastic documentary, absolutely fantastic. That documentary alone, like as much as I like the movie, I like the documentary a little bit better. Like it actually sold me on the movie a little bit more, and it's just excellent. Like it's well done. It's worth it's worth at least half of the price of admission to get this 4K. And this 4K is going for $25.71 right now, so it's not expensive at all on Amazon. And I think you'll probably still get the slipcover with it since it's fairly new and it just came out back in early March. So yeah, just a fantastic release right here from Red Shirt Pictures and Synapse Films. And Red Shirt Pictures like really taken off right now because they got Fright Night 2 coming out. They've also got Hello Mary Lou Prom Night 2 and the other two Prom Night sequels. So they got a lot of really cool stuff coming, but it started with Trickor Treat right here, and it's a fantastic release. Speaking of Prom Night, let's go back to the original and talk about Prom Night from 1980 starring Jamie Lee Curtis. So Synapse Films put this one out back in 2014. So this is a pretty old Blu-ray right here. And this is going for $15.42 right now. Now, I will say, you know, full disclosure, I am recommending this Blu-ray, but there could be a 4K coming because apparently there were some rights issues that they had to get cleared up. And now they're good to produce a 4K of this one. And it may actually be in a box set at some point with part 2, part 3, and part 4, since Red Shirt Pictures is doing those, and that's also affiliated with Synapse Films. Look, I did not grow up watching Prom Night. I grew up with Halloween, and I always wanted to go check out some of Jamie Lee's other horror films, but I did not grow up with Prom Night. I actually grew up watching Hello Mary Lou Prom Night 2. That was the only prom night that was at my video store. So I watched that movie probably like 10 to 15 times. I grew up loving that film. So that was always the prom night film that I liked. And I just, for whatever reason, I just never went back to watch this one. I don't know if I just felt like that was the best that there could be in the Prom Night franchise, and I had no reason to go back and check out the original. Or what, but I recently watched the original for the first time last October, and it kind of blew me away. Like, I ended up loving it. First off, it's an early 80s film, but also feels very 70s. And you've got a lot of like disco influence in there as well. They couldn't like bring in actual like disco songs, like real songs into this movie. So they actually created their own soundtrack and own like disco songs for this film, which I actually found to be pretty cool and interesting. But Jamie Lee, she's not as good in this movie as she is as Laurie Strode. She rarely was back in these old horror movies like The Fog or some of the other films she was involved in. You know, they just weren't as iconic of performances. But the movie itself, like, I really just enjoyed the setup. I enjoyed the vibe, like the 70s, 80s, like mashup vibe in this film. I liked the mystery. I thought the payoff was good. I liked the kills and just how they set them up. Just really gritty and grimy, but also just like a really good like high school movie as well. Just kind of how it portrays the prom at the end with the disco stuff and the dancing. I don't know, it felt very 70s, also very 80s, just that perfect marriage of the two. And I really enjoyed it. And the death scenes, the kill scenes are really well done and executed. And again, I just thought that this one was really good, far better than I expected it to be. And as much as I love Hello Mary Lou, this one might be my favorite now of the Prom Night franchise. So yeah, Prom Night right there. And again, it's available for $15.42. There is a documentary on this release as well on the making of Prom Night, which is actually really good and goes really in depth. Look at Jamie Lee right there. Goes really in depth on the making of this film. I think it's about 50 minutes long, but it's a really good documentary that they include here. And yeah, it looked really good too. I remember it looking really good on Blu-ray. And it does have reversible cover art. You flip it around and you have the original Prom Night poster right there, which is pretty cool as well. But yeah, Prom Night, highly recommend that one. Let's talk about Intruder. This is a grocery store slasher film. You got people that are trapped in a grocery store and there's a killer and they got to try to escape the killer. Now this is actually, I think that does this have Sam Raimi in it? Yeah, I think Sam Raimi's in the film. Also his brother Ted Raimi is in the film. Now, neither one of them, I think, are involved in any aspects of like the making of the movie. I just think that they were involved like in the film as actors. But that's kind of a cool, like interesting aspect about it. But this is a really fun movie. Some really like gnarly, cool kills that are kind of like, grocery themed as well. They kind of, bring the groceries into the equation on some of the kills, which is actually pretty fun. But I enjoyed this one quite a bit. I actually watched this with the umbrella version that I got. So I didn't actually, well, I did watch parts of this just to kind of compare the two, but I didn't watch the entire movie with this Synapse Blu-ray, but it is available from Synapse. Like if you don't want to spend $50, $60 to get the umbrella version, you can get it for $18.12. But yeah, really enjoyed Intruder for sure. And I think this one is definitely worth owning. I do think that this one Yeah, it does have a making of, and I don't think that I don't think the Umbrella version ported over that making of. So I think if you want that making of, you have to get the Synapse version right here, which makes this one a little bit more worth it, in my opinion, than the Umbrella version. Now, there's no reversible cover art or anything like that. I think this one, yeah, this one does include the Blu-ray and the DVD. So it's a Blu-ray DVD combo, which I don't think they did in all their releases. But this one actually came out in 2011. So this is an early Synapse Films release. Now, the next one that I want to talk about is a really fun high school exploitation film. And I am talking about Massacre at Central High. So this one was like way more fun than I thought it was going to be. It really leans, like, it may sound like it's just a straight up slasher film, but it really leans into the action aspect of this. And it really is more of an action film, I think, than a horror film, even though it does have some horror aspects in it as well. You know, it definitely, I feel like, is kind of similar to Class of 84. Which I actually watched that for the first time a couple of years ago, but I really enjoyed Class of 84. This one just takes things a little bit further. You know, it goes into the whole like bullying, the bullies at the high school, and the new guy that came in and he's being bullied by the kids at the high school. He takes them out, and there's more bullies, and it turns out that the entire high school is just full of bullies and bad people, and he's got to like try to take them out and figure out how to overcome these bullies. So it's a fun movie. It's a little bit unrealistic. I don't feel like a school would quite be this bad, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there are schools as bad as this one, Massacre at Central High. This is a movie from 1976. It's also got the same girl, the lead girl from Friday the 13th, part 4. So that's pretty interesting because this was like 8 years before Friday the 13th, part 4. So I think she was a little bit older when she did that film. Must have been like early 20s when she did this. The big one with this is on Blu-ray, right? This is on Blu-ray. I'm watching this, and you could have told me it was a 4K. It looked that damn good. This Blu-ray is maybe one of the best Blu-rays that I have ever seen. It looked incredible. And Synapse, they'll do that sometimes with their restorations. This is probably a 4K scan right here, I would say as well, or maybe it's a 2K. But whatever it is, it looked 4K. Like, it looked so good. Like, the explosions, it looked like it had HDR. I don't know what they did, but I just remember this. I think I reviewed this on the channel as well. I remember this looking so good, like it was unbelievable. So this one's going for $21.01 right now. They did a steelbook of this one back in the day, but I think this is a new scan right here with this release. So this is probably the best way to get this and view this one. But yeah, definitely a really fun movie. Massacre at Central High. Highly recommend it. Next up, guys, we're getting into some heavy hitters right here. We're talking about Phenomena from Dario Argento, and just the artwork alone on this release, guys, so freaking awesome. I do have the box set. I didn't bring the box set over here because I wanted to bring these, you know, standard editions over because I don't think the box sets are still available. But this release right now, and I don't think you'll still get the slipcover for it, but it's going for $25.96 currently. But this is a great edition. It's got both cuts of the movie. It's got the Italian version. It's also got the international version, which is, I think, also known as the Creepers cut. This is such a cool movie. This is another one that I didn't really jive with the first time because the entire idea of a girl that's trying to solve a murder or figure out like who the killer is through insects because she can talk to insects is just way out there for me. But the more I watch this movie, the more I get into it. And I just think this movie is super awesome. First off, the score by Goblin. If you want a Goblin score that competes with Sesperia, in my opinion, it's Phenomena. Incredible score, but you also, in addition to that, got a soundtrack by Iron Maiden, and they fuse those two together sometimes. So you have the Iron Maiden, you have the Goblin, and sometimes it just works where it shouldn't work. Like some scenes, like you just wouldn't think that it would work, and it absolutely does. But it's fantastic. The music in this almost makes the film, but it's a really good mystery as well. And I just love the vibes in this movie. Jennifer Connelly is in this film. It's a very early Jennifer Connelly movie from 1985. So before she really broke out. The 4K looks incredible. Like I said, you got 2 cuts of the film. You got all kinds of great special features included in this. Now, there is an Arrow, I believe, 4K that came out overseas. I don't know if that's still available right now, but this Synapse version for $25.96, I think for everything that's included here, it's an absolute steal. But yeah, I freaking love Phenomena. It honestly might be top 3 Argento for me. Like, I love it that much. But on the inside, you got some disc art right there. And I believe when you flip this, yes, you do have the original poster for Phenomena right there, which is really damn cool. Now let's get into another Argento movie. This is another heavy hitter that also does have a box set. I didn't bring the box set over. This is one of my personal favorites. It might be my second favorites from Argento, if I'm being honest, but Tenmbre right here. And the artwork on this, guys, oh my god, I don't know, like Synapse does such incredible artwork with some of their releases. Tenmbre is freaking awesome. Another incredible Goblin score, but I would still put it behind Sesperia and Phenomena. But the score by Goblin is amazing. The mystery and how they set everything up, maybe one of the most compelling mysteries I feel like that Argento has ever done. And I think the payoff is excellent. A lot of times in some of these Italian films, the payoff doesn't always deliver. I think it 100% does in Tenmbre. That's why I love it so much. And the final like 20 minutes gets really crazy with some of the gore and some of the blood splattering everywhere. And all that stuff in 4K, guys. Oh my God, with the HDR and the Dolby Vision, it just looks so incredible. So Synapse Films, guys, look, they do a great job on Blu-rays. They do such a great job on 4Ks. When they put out a 4K, it is one of the best 4Ks if you've ever seen. And the work that they've done with some of these Argento films is really top tier. Now, I think that there was also an Arrow Video version of this one as well over in the UK, so you may want to get that if you're in the UK, if you have access to it. But this release by Synapse, again, going for $32.69, so it's a little bit more expensive than Phenomenon, but it's a little bit cheaper than Sesperia as well. But there's tons of great audio commentaries, featurettes and features, and just so much stuff in this release right here. And again, it's such a fantastic release. All the Argento stuff that Synapse Films did is must own. Even if you just want to get the Blu-ray versions, like I believe the Blu-ray versions are available and they'll have all the same features on it. And I'm sure that those Blu-ray versions look really good also. But yeah, Tenmbre, guys, I love Tenmbre. I love the vibe of Tenmbre. I love the music of Tenmbre. I love the mystery, the storytelling. I think it's excellent and definitely one of Argento's best films. Now, next up, guys, we've been talking about a lot of classic horror, but what Synapse Films did a few years ago was they dove into a little bit of 2000s horror with the Satan's Little Helper release right here. So this one, I don't know quite how to describe this one. This is about a maniac, a serial killer that's going through this town, and he befriends a young boy and basically schools him and teaches him, takes him on as his protege, so to speak, to become the next serial killer in this town. And it all takes place on Halloween. So those fall vibes, those Halloween vibes are just permeating all throughout this movie. But this was a fun one. It felt very like straight to video. And I believe it probably was straight to video back in 2004 when it came out. Very straight to video, and I'm sure everybody remembers this cover like being on their video store stands when they were a kid or a teenager when they went in there, or maybe a young adult when you did. But yeah, this movie felt extremely low budget. I wasn't exactly sure how I felt about it when it started, but by the time we got to the end, I was like, damn, that was a lot of fun. That was such a fun, like the grocery store, like shopping cart sequence just sold me on the movie alone. So by the time we got to the end, like even though the acting wasn't the best, the performances, like that's not exactly what you watch this movie for, but I just thought it was incredibly fun. Like if you're looking for a companion to Trickor Treat or something like that from 2007, I think Satan's Little Helper is a film that would be right up your alley. Like you watch Trickor Treat, then you watch Satan's Little Helper, you get yourself a nice like 2000s horror Halloween fix right there. So I really enjoy this one. It's got a lot of great special features as well. It's got the making of Satan's Little Helper. It's got Mr. Satan's Neighborhood, a tour of filming locations with the director of the film, which this is directed by Jeff Lieberman. But yeah, just a really fun movie. And the Blu-ray looks excellent. And I don't think this had a Blu-ray before this. Just came out on DVD. So highly recommend Satan's Little Helper on Blu-ray. And this is going for $18.12 right now. So not a bad price at all for this Blu-ray. And lastly, guys, we got to get through this quick because I've taken a lot of your time here today, and I appreciate your time. But let's talk about The Living Dead at Manchester Morg. First off, I wasn't expecting a great zombie film with this one because it's one I never really heard about. You always hear about the Romero Living Dead movies or Return of the Living Dead and all those other Living Dead movies. Living Dead at Manchester Morg was never really on my radar. I got done watching this. And I was like, I'll be damned if this isn't one of the best zombie movies that I have ever seen. First off, it's super gruesome and gory. Like they do things in this movie that I have never seen any other zombie movie do. And I just love the way that they go about it. I love the escalation of it. I love the way that it starts. I love how it builds and builds and builds and just gets super big and gory and nasty by the time you get to the closing minutes of this movie. But this was another Blu-ray from Synapse Films that I watched and I was just completely blown away by the picture quality here. Like this looked just like Massacre at Central High. And remember, they both came out, I think, within a couple of months of each other back in 2022. They both look like they were 4K. And this one just really looked like it was a 4K. I was like, damn, like it's to the point, like if they announce this for 4K, I may still get it because of the chance that it could look even better. But like it looks so good on Blu-ray. I was like, this is probably all I'll ever need for the Living Dead at Manchester Morg because this Blu-ray was honestly incredible. Again, it looked like a 4K. There's so many great, like gross, grotesque scenes in this movie. It's got great special effects and makeup, and some of those like blood scenes and the way they shot some of the gore. It looked so good on this Blu-ray. Again, I could have sworn it had HDR Dolby Vision because it looked that damn good. The Living Dead at Manchester Morg, though, if you kind of wrote this one off as a generic zombie film and didn't want to check it out, highly recommend you check this one out. This is a really great zombie movie that I think rivals some of Romero's best, in my opinion, in my humble opinion, guys. But yeah, this one right now, guys, is going for $21.01. So not a bad price at all. It's got a lot of really good features here. It's got 2 audio commentaries. It's got a, let's see, extensive feature length. Yeah, it's got a 90-minute documentary on the making of this film and the director who directed this, his filmography. So really good stuff here, guys. You got discussion on Manchester. You got a Q&A at the festival. So there's great stuff, great features on this release, and this looked so damn good, and the movie is super fun. But there you have it, guys. That is my 10 or 11, recommendations from Synapse Films. Synapse Films is a really great boutique label, guys. Again, they don't focus as much on quantity. They really focus on the quality of their releases, but all the 10 that I talked about are 100% worth it for sure. Again, I will link those down below. But thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Turn on those bell notifications for all future videos and follow me on all my social media accounts. Those links are down below in the description, and we'll see you next time.